What's up, fight fans? What's going on out there, man? It is the homie, Mainman Mademan. Just want to drop on in for a quick word. Salute to everybody that catches this live. Salute to everybody that catches this on the playback, man. Want to get in here and get a quick word in, though. And that is, I want to have a quick discussion about belts. Belts in boxing. Now, we all know, we've talked about this several times on the channel. One of the biggest problems that boxing has, at least for a lot of us boxing fans, is there are way too many belts in boxing. I mean, the WBC has numerous belts in different weight classes. The WBA, well, they lead the charge. They have all of these belts and all of these weight classes. If I'm not mistaken, I think the WBA, like I said, they're definitely leading the charge. 39 champions in 17 divisions, 2 champions in 8 divisions, 3 champions in 7 divisions. That's insane. That is a lot of damn belts. Now, what makes this so significant is that us as boxing fans, well, we like to use belts as a measure to say who is the best. Who is the best? So we can determine who is the best fighting the best. Who is the best of each weight class. Pound for pound discussions, things like that. And belts was one of the ways to help determine that, at least in the beginning, at least in its inception. That is until promoters and sanctioning bodies developed into a partnership, if you will, of just, I don't know, something that just wasn't good for boxing. And that is to take the belts and use them more so as marketing tools and use them as a way to enhance a boxer's markability and finance, a way to make more money, as opposed to determine who was the best. And these sanctioning bodies are so deep with these promoters now, where they can't turn back even if they wanted to. Even if they just decided to wake up one day and say, you know what, this ain't right. We don't know who the best champion is, which honestly, to a pocketbook of a sanctioning body who collects sanctioning fees on these belts, that may be counterproductive. But yet, if one of them wanted to one day catch religion and say, man, I just think there's too many belts and I want to clean this up. Well, guess what now? Instead of them just up and waking up and making that decision on their own, they got to now call somebody. They got to call a promoter. They got to call a network. They got to call someone, because they are now being controlled in one way or another through the money and through having the fighters. What brings me to this conclusion, because I was reading some recent quotes by the WBA president, Gilberto Mendoza, and I'll pull these quotes up now. And I'm listening to what he's saying about the belts today, as opposed to what he said about the belts of yesteryear. So let's talk about this. Let's see. According to Gilberto Mendoza, let's pull up his quotes. And he says, they tell me there must be only one champion, but they don't give me solid arguments. They tell me that the titles are devalued. He says, but when we talk about making a tournament to a single champion, not everyone wants to enter it. When we talk about a champion versus champion fight, not everyone is willing to take part. Let me stop right there. When we talk about making a tournament to set a single champion, so he's basically saying that if I do a tournament in the WBA to determine between the super champion, the regular champion, and the interim champion, if I wanted to do a tournament involving all of these guys, well, I can't get these dudes on board, because these dudes are going to go back and check with their promoters and managers or whoever, and they're going to then come back and say, no, we don't think that's the best move for you right now. There ain't nothing that Gilberto Mendoza or the WBA can do without the fighters. Nothing they can do. He says not everyone wants to enter. He goes on and says, when we talk about a champion versus a champion, which is a unification. Now, this is crazy. He's talking about a unification right here. So if it's the WBA super champion versus the IBF champion, when we talk about a champion versus a champion fight, not everyone is willing to take part. Once again, even if it's when us boxing fans have a discussion of wanting to see one face, one name, one champion, one this, one that, as you can see how hard it really is, because the sanctioning bodies got to once again be on board with the networks and the promoters and everyone else. Everyone has to be on the same page. If that network or that manager or that promoter feel like, yo, this is too high risk, reward, or you can lose it all and we haven't made enough money off you yet, so we don't want to put you in this big fight. Yeah, it may be for Undisputed, but we ain't worrying about Undisputed. I think Undisputed really is only important to a promotional company if it's marketable. You know what I'm saying? And if they know in one way or another that their fight is going to do it. If y'all don't think that Top Rank knew that Terrence Crawford was going to beat Julius Ndongo, that's why they felt so easy to put him in there, man, you tripping. That was the biggest fight of Julius Ndongo's career. That was a big stage for him. Of course, he's going to take what he's given and he's going to be easy to negotiate with. But if if Bob Arum had, say, I don't know, Terrence Crawford versus Earl Spence right then and there, unification. Undisputed, you think it would have been that much more easier to make, even if they were on the same side of the street? Well, Bob can't assure a victory. He can't assure that he can market Crawford with all of those belts. So that's what it becomes down to with these promoters. Can I market? I can't market my fighter without a belt. I need a belt to market him. Not to say if he's a champion. Not to say if he's good, if he's great. Not to say if he's going to be pound for pound this or pound for. I need him to have a belt so I can make more money. So the networks can market him better and make him more money. I remember when Paulie Malignaggi, before he retired. Remember when Paulie, who was that he was fighting? He was walking around with that fake belt around his shoulder, looking like Ted DiBiase or somebody, the $1 Million Man. He had the belt around his thing here. I still got a comment. My fault, fam. He had the belt around his shoulder. What's up, Rob Rook? What's up, man? What's going on, man? Yeah, YouTube is hiding me, fam. So I'm glad you found me, fam. I'm really glad you found me. Salute to you, champion. Salute to you. But yeah, man, like Paulie Malignaggi was walking around with that belt, knowing damn well he ain't beat nobody for that belt, knowing damn well that belt meant nothing. But to Paulie Malignaggi and to everyone who saw him, it looked cool. It looked marketable. It made him just look more, he felt more marketable. He felt like he'll catch more eyes. He'll catch more ears if he had a belt around his shoulder, even though that's some belt that he probably ordered off Amazon somewhere. But I got an Amazon belt. So guess what? More people are going to watch my fight because I'm walking around with an Amazon belt. That was the way Paulie was thinking. Let's keep it pushing. So Gilberto Mendoza goes on and says, and on the other hand, a boxer with a title does better. A boxer who gets himself a title fight does better. A network that broadcasts a title fight does better. So what is Gilberto Mendoza telling you? If I don't have all of these belts, super, interim, regular, whatever you want to, if I don't have these belts, well, guess what? Look at what he's telling you. Look at all of these entities that'll be made. The network, the broadcast, the broadcasters, the broadcast title fight does better. A boxer who gets himself a title fight does better. So a boxer who doesn't get himself a title fight, I guess they don't do better. So that means that if we notice, let's play the numbers. If we add more title fights and more titles, we get more marketable boxers. It's a simple formula. The formula is simple. The sad thing about all of this is the fact that the WBA, who has all of these belts across the sport of boxing, they were once trying to clean this up. And we're going to get to that. They tried, but they only could go but so far. And they was only going to be able to do but so much. And we're going to get to it. Hold on one second. Gilberto Mendoza even went down all the way down to the fans. He says that, and I quote, the same fan who complains if he knows there is a title fight at stake, they are more attentive to the fight. Look at the train of thought. You ain't heard Gilberto Mendoza one time say, well, you know, a boxer who has a title or is in a title fight is the best boxer of that division or is the best boxer of that sanctioning body. He ain't talking like that. He's saying money. You're going to pay attention more. Oh, it's going. So guess what? If we can't get you to pay attention, it's, you know, we're going to just throw a belt in there. So how valued are these belts? If they not really, if it's just for marketing purposes. Let's go to the screen share real quick. All right, let's check this out. Give me 1 second. Now, go back to 2016, right? Let's take it all the way back to 2016. Now, this was the WBO's position back in 2016. WBO working to reduce the number of titles. That's what's up. Got Floyd Mayweather there. That's when he had just right at the time he had vacated all of his belts. He had the WBC and he had the WBA Super Championship. So let's go to some quotes here if we can find a quick quote. According to Gilberto Mendoza back in 2016, I am working to reduce the titles. At first, some promoters might complain. I just tell them that it's my final decision and they would have to live with it. Oh, he was tough. Oh, he was the man back in 2016. Look how he was talking. Look at that. I just tell them that it's my final decision. This is my sanctioning body. These are my belts. It is my decision, not yours, Mr. Promoter. Man, that was 4 years ago. Well, a little bit, no. Dang. And he just caved in. Totally different so far. And so far, so good. When the new WBA ratings come out this week, Floyd Mayweather, the WBA super champion at junior middleweight, because he had the WBA super championship at 154 too. That's what's up. At junior middleweight and welterweight have finally been removed from the list of title holders and his belts have been vacated. It's about time. So at this point is what the WBA could have said right there. It's like, you know what? Floyd then gave up the WBA super at 54 and at 47. Well, why not just eliminate them right then and there? That could have been the opportune time. And keep this in mind, fight fans. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm sure y'all know, but anyone who doesn't know, the WBA regular title is the oldest belt in boxing. It technically should be the most prestigious belt in boxing, but it isn't for reasons like this. It actually has a mandatory, as it should. The WBA Super Championship doesn't. It's whenever they feel like they want to designate someone to face them. That's how that WBA Super is not like the WBC franchise belt, where we don't even know all the rules pertaining to this franchise belt because it's so new. It's not like that. Because it doesn't have a mandatory either. And I don't even know if you lose it. But I don't even think that's even a real belt. As for the WBA Super, they consider that the actual belt of the WBA now. Even though it was just made up after the WBA regular. That's funny. Well, back in 2016, there are still interim title holders in both divisions. So at that time, they had WBA interim title holders who was at 54, Jack Kulke, and David Avanesian at 147. So what they were going to do was make Keith Thurman at the time face David Avanesian to get rid of that interim title and to have Arisandy Lara go on to face someone for the WBA Super at 54. Now, this is the thing that a lot of Spence Nation don't never talk about, which is shocking. I knew this. I usually don't, but at the end of the day, I don't mind. I'll say it because it'll come back to me eventually, and I'm ready for it. But at the end of the day, Keith Thurman, my main man, hashtag the final level, he has been elevated every time with the WBA. When he got his WBA regular championship, he was elevated after the Robert Guerrero fight. When he got his WBA Super Championship, he was elevated after the Sean Porter fight. Elevated. Now, take in mind, when Floyd Mayweather had vacated those belts back then, the WBA's position also at that time that they wasn't going to elevate anyone. But they still elevated Keith, the regular champion, and they still elevated him to super champion. Facts. But we're going to keep going. So the WBA even wanted to clean up at heavyweight during that time. Remember, Tyson Fury was the super championship. He had a rematch with Vladimir Klitschko, right? So they were going to let that go. Shagiev, I always mess his name up. Shagiev was going to face Lucas Brown for the WBA regular title, and the winner of that would have had to face Frez Oquendo. So the WBA regular title was being contended for. Then if you go down, Louise Ortiz, who was the WBA interim champion, was going to face Alexander Ustinov for that particular belt. Now, the way it was going to work out, whoever emerged from the Fury, Klitschko, Ortiz, and Ustinov fight would have fought the winner of the Chagiev, Brown, Oquendo fights, would have gave us one champion at heavyweight. All the belts would have been cleaned up right there. It didn't happen, fight fans. It didn't happen for whatever reason. We can go down a million roads. It didn't happen. Something got in the way. Why wasn't the WBA able to go down with their plan back then? This was a beautiful plan. We would have had one WBA champion at heavyweight. We could have possibly had one WBA champion at welterweight too. And we're going to get more into that. But for sure at heavyweight, but it got shut down. Shut down. Promoters and managers, networks, too much power with these belts and sanctioning bodies. Look at this. This is what Mendoza was saying. The winner of those two groups will fight for the world championship. That's what it was going to get whittled down to. The actual world championship. And the WBA will only have one champion. That was the plan back in 2016. What happened? Why didn't it go forward? We never got the Tyson Fury versus Klitschko rematch, right? Louise Ortiz ended up getting in trouble, flunking the drug test, kicked out of the WBA. It just went all crazy. And we never got back here. We never got back here. Now, let's go look into some more control, if you will, on how these organizations control the belts. Now, another example. Let's go back to the screen share. Let's go back to the screen share real quick. Let's look at my main man, Keith Thurman. It's funny. We've been talking a lot about Keith. Keith Thurman, right after, well, for those who are, like I told you earlier, January 28th, right after he fought right before he fought Robert Guerrero, he was elevated to the full WBA welterweight champion. Okay, he was elevated. Now, Thurman versus Collazo, right? He take on Luis Collazo, boom, boom, boom. He beats Luis Collazo. Now, this is funny. On January 8th, 2016, PBC requested to the WBA the upcoming fight between Danny Garcia and Robert Guerrero be for the vacant WBA super title, as Floyd Mayweather Jr. had just retired. The WBA had denied to sanction the fight, citing that they would have no more than two welterweight title holders. So the PBC wanted Danny Garcia versus Robert Guerrero to be for the WBA Super Championship, right? Now, of course, they didn't sanction it. So what ended up happening? Danny Garcia faces Robert Guerrero for the WBC welterweight full championship. Robert Guerrero, fight fans. For the WBC green belt, Danny Garcia beats Robert Guerrero for the WBC. If so, you mean to tell me that they were so anxious to gift Danny Garcia a belt at that time? PBC had so much power between the WBC and the WBA that they were just going to get Danny a belt from. If it wasn't going to be the WBA, it was going to be the WBC. No matter what. No matter what. Robert Guerrero, fight fans. Robert Guerrero. Why am I mad about that? Why are you mad about that, man? Why are you mad about it that it's Robert Guerrero? I'll tell you why. This is the reason I'm mad. Robert Guerrero loses to Floyd Mayweather, beats Kamagai, and I don't know if it was the Kamagai or the Martinez fight. It was one of these fights that he was out on his damn feet. I think it was this one, when the dude had him knocked out on his feet. But anyway, he beats Kamagai. He loses to Floyd for the WBC, beats Kamagai, loses to Thurman for that WBA regular title, beats Ern Martinez in a fight later, right back in there with Danny Garcia for the vacant WBC world. What that was Floyd's old belt, the vacant WBC title. You lose in a title fight, you get a regular fight, you get another title fight. You lose, you get another title fight. Danny Garcia beats a guy who's coming off two losses in his last 4 fights for the WBC title. You tell me that they didn't have no power. And then he turns around and he defends the same WBC against Keith Thurman. You tell me that there ain't no power. They were going to get Danny Garcia a belt one way or another from Robert Guerrero, champ. Nah, man. But this goes to show you what happens when they want to build momentum, when they want to build a star. There was no way that fight should have been a world title fight. Robert Guerrero and Danny Garcia for the WBC vacant title after Robert Guerrero lost to Floyd just a fight ago for that same title. How does he still in the ranking so high to face Danny Garcia after beating Yoshiro Kamagai? That goes to show you the control. But they built it, and now Danny's in a pay-per-view fight. They built it. They can build stars with belts now. They can market them with belts. Look at the WBO in Top Rank. Look at the WBO in Top Rank. Look how much control. They've gotten people removed from the rankings. They've gotten fighters dropped from the rankings, stripped of titles. These promoters control the sanctioning bodies. Mr. Mendoza is telling us straight right here to our face. There's nothing I can do. I started out on a mission back in 2016. There's many more quotes throughout the years of how he wanted to do it, but he never managed to do it for one reason or another. Which lets me know at today's time, these sanctioning bodies, as far as control, ain't much. He's telling you straight like this. If I wanted to do that, I couldn't. They don't want to participate. No one's going to allow them to participate. What the hell can I do? That's the situation with belts in boxing. Look at the WBC franchise. Franchise belt and came. It's in boxing. It's dwelling in boxing, and it's here. Yeah, we kicked and screamed when it was coming through the door, but now it's normalized. Fuck it, it's in boxing. It is what it is. It's boxing, right? That's the belts, story of belts in boxing. So check this article out. It's over there on Boxing Scene, or you can Google it yourself. WBA, Gilberto Mendoza giving us a straight up window into now how he's remained powerless in this effort to clean up belts in boxing. The WBA is leading the charge. 39 champions in 17 divisions, 2 champions in 8 divisions, 3 champions in 7 divisions, fight fans. This is crazy. Who is the real fucking champ? Will the real champ please stand up? Please stand up. I'm going to get up out of here, but before I do, I got a couple comments. I see. Let me get through these. Salute to all of the fam that slid through. If I missed your comment or if I missed you sliding through, man, my fault. Sometimes I get wrapped up into these deep stories and I just keep it pushing, man. But salute to all of the fam, man. Salute to all of the fam. Rob Brook, thank you for sliding through, famo. King Carr in a building. Salute to you, King. Salute to you, man. Much love to you, man. Lawrence, my brother Lawrence Wims, a real live boxing mind. Salute to you, famo. Salute to you, man. Me TV till this day. We are kings. Talk boxing, man. Salute, family. What's up? We are kings all day. Ortiz versus Ustinov. Yeah. Messed the whole situation up, didn't it, Lawrence? Ortiz popped. He got kicked out of that little tournament the WBA wanted to do. Tyson Fury went down his little drug binging hiatus and in and out of the UCAD thing. It just messed the whole plan up, bro. They had it in 2016. Salute to Gilberto Mendoza for drawing up the blueprint. It's just unfortunate that he couldn't follow through. Dundada, my main man, what's up, bro? What's up? Where you been, fam? I hope everything is good with you, fam. All day. Salute to you, man. We talking boxing all day. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you, Dundada, man. Hope all is good, man. Hope all is good. Real, man. Much love to you, man. Much love to everybody, man. Get the suits out of boxing, man, says Dundada. I agree with you 100%, fight fans. Yo, man, we didn't do a full-fledged We Talking Boxing, but this was something like that. We working our way back. Boxing got to come back, fight fans. I miss it. You miss it. You know what I'm saying? But keep rocking with the homie, and we always going to be here. Much love to you all. Enjoy the rest of y'all evening out there, man. I see y'all sometime tomorrow, man, on here on Mainman Mademan's Boxing. Thumbs up on the way out if you did not hit it on the way in. Much love to you all. And until the next one, man. Peace out.